What's good, YouTube? Sports Brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Getting y'all ready for this. You know what I'm saying? Getting this morning grind in, man. Getting y'all up to date sports news, man. And today we got should Conor McGregor, man. Should Conor McGregor continue to box or go back to UFC, man? Now, this is a tricky topic, you know. I don't think it's too tricky, but this is a little tricky topic, you know, because there's money involved. When money involved, everything is different. So when you talk about Conor, man, he just came off one of the biggest fights of his life, man. He fared good, you know what I'm saying? Nobody thought he was gonna do nothing crazy, but like they say, just for him taking a fight we knew he was gonna lose, you gotta give him credit for that, man. So shout out to Conor for that, man. But as far as the rest of his career, man, you know, like they say, he is a fighter. He do love fighting. So I see him finishing out his contract with the UFC. I think he got 4 fights left. I definitely see that happening. He will finish out his contract with the UFC. Now, as far as boxing, I think the bag is there for him at boxing. You know, boxing is an event type sport. It's a entertainment type sport, so they look for like the big show out, you know, big showcase. I feel like after the Floyd fight, you know what I'm saying, Conor is a top name in fighting, not just boxing. He's a top name in fighting, so I feel like it's gonna be some fights out there for him. You know, obviously I think the fight I want to see is Paulie. I think that would be a good draw if they do it in New York, him versus Paulie. That would be a good draw. You know, people would want to see that. But overall, you know, as a fan, you know what I'm saying, I can't front. As a fan, I would like to see him in boxing just because it get boxing a new, you know what I'm saying, boxing do have a breath of fresh air with like the Errol Spencers, you know what I'm saying, coming up, Gervonta Davises, but to give us that real spark, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, a couple kind of fights will help the sport out, you know what I'm saying, just for excitement, you know what I'm saying. Boxing ain't had a lot of excitement in a while, so I think a couple kind of fights, because you see how much excitement it brought to boxing, you know what I'm saying, from this Floyd fight. So I feel like a couple fights will help him out. Not like a career in boxing, but I think just, you know what I'm saying, maybe 5 fights limit or 3-4 fights, you know what I'm saying, that wouldn't hurt. It would bring him a lot of money, bring the sport a lot of money, and it would just be overall a good. But the actuality of the situation is he probably gonna go back to UFC. You know, he got a lot of unfinished business there. He got to defend some titles. He got a lot of people that's gonna be on his head. You know, since he went off and did what he did, so a lot of people hungry in the UFC like, shit, I ain't touching that payday, so I gotta whip his ass because he getting that payday, you know. So I think we all kind of leaning towards him going back to the UFC, but they say December 30th, UFC got an event in Las Vegas, pay-per-view, so hopefully if we get the Nate Diaz kind of 3, yeah, I'm tuning in because I want to see that. That's gonna be a good trilogy, you know. But I don't know, I wouldn't say his value will go down in UFC, but I feel like it's gonna be that paper because he just made over 100 million off one fight, so I think it's gonna be hard to take your 8 and your 10 million. But if he's a fighter like they say he is, then I think he won't have no problem because 8 million is still a lot of fucking money. 10 million is not 100 million or 50 or 70 million, but hey, it's still 8 million. Like, come on now. So I feel like he might be humble, eat some humble pie, and mess with them lower paydays just to finish out his loyalty to his contract. You know, I don't see him scapegoating his contract. And I think Dana White want him back because Dana White need him back at this point. You know, he been gone, and we ain't give a fuck about UFC except for that John Jones match, and John Jones messed up. So now that kind of hurt UFC. So, you know, I think, yeah, Conor need the UFC need Conor. So I think everybody, we should be prepared to see him back there. Not saying he won't take a couple boxing matches. Like I said, I see 2 to 3 more boxing matches in his future just off the payday. He's smart, man. He gonna go grab that bag, but I do see him finishing out his UFC contract. Now, after them 4 fights, I don't know what he'll do. He might retire because you gotta, like, he just made 50. Them 4 fights, you rounded off, he gonna make another 50. So it's like, should I continue fighting? You know, after making a lot of money like that, you gotta sit there and think, you know what I'm saying? You see Madonna, he made them 2 fights versus Floyd. He said, fuck it, like, I'd have made more money off these 2 fights than I ever would make in my career. So he kind of said, fuck it. So, you know what I'm saying? He could have that Madonna attitude after his contract is up. He like, shit, I done made, boom, I can always go make a couple more off a boxing match. So after I finish on my UFC contract, you know, he might feel like he don't need to come back, or you never know, man. You know, I think depends too if he wins or loses. You know, if he go to the UFC and cleans them out, then yeah, we might see a retirement, or we might see him go to boxing. But if he goes to the UFC and loses, then we got a different story on our hand, because that's gonna really hurt him. If he go to the UFC and start taking some L's, that might hurt his stock. You know what I'm saying? His stock gonna go down, man. But overall, I feel like he will go back to the UFC, but not counting out a couple more boxing matches. A couple more boxing matches for his career is over, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say once again, man, your boy Sports Brotherhood, man. Comment, like, subscribe, man, and stay